Hi, I'm Grishma Kuttar and you're listening to episode 14 of Mission Manipur, a frontline podcast that looks in detail at the Manipur conflict. This episode is titled P. Hoichong. Since the Prime Minister visited Manipur in September, a lot of visits have followed from top RSS leaders and BJP leaders. While I was preparing for this episode, I wrote a whole page about them and what it means for Manipur and what not. But as I started recording, I decided that this portion is not as important. It can probably wait till the next episode. I mean, everything they've said has been said before by multiple people, and in all likelihood, it doesn't mean much. But I'm sure you will have a lot more to learn from the interviews of the women I'll be sharing in today's episode. Not just about the reality they're facing as internally displaced persons who are living away from their home villages for the third year now, but also how do people who've lost everything find hope in myriad ways that most of us cannot imagine. In this episode, I'm meeting people from the Vaiphei tribe who are among the most affected tribes from the Kuki-Zo Hill districts. This tribe has lost almost half its villages and half its people are now displaced within Manipur. After statements were made by different officials, including the Chief Secretary, there has been fear among many displaced people that by the month of December, relief camps will be dismantled and most of the people who've been living in these camps will have to fend for themselves. I spoke about this to Hoichong Vaiphei, who's been staying at the Lanva relief camp since 2023. For the past few months now, there has been this conversation going about in the governors, not just from people who are working with the governor, but also from the chief secretary and other people in Manipur that by the end of this year, which is by December, all the camps, relief camps will be dismantled and they are creating a situation for internally displaced people to go back to your villages. So you've been here from 2023, right?
Yes.
And now, have you got any information like this that you might have to leave the camp and go back to your village? And if that's happening, do you think it's possible for you to go back to your village?
Actually, we miss our hometown, really we miss. But it's no way to go back because then it's very difficult to stay there. Everything is, when we think it back, there is not be like before, same as before. Everything is demands, and even the people also, until and unless there is no
danger,
until and unless there is no peace, we cannot go back.
So, like right now, for the past month since President's rule has been imposed, there have not been that many incidents. So, in what way are you saying that there is no peace?
There is no peace means there is no peace in our heart, in our mind. And if I go back, there is no safety for us also. How can we? Somebody is killed my parents and they damage my house. They destroy all my property. There is property is since from our forefather we restored it. Everything is damaged, and even nothing is. They are not doing anything. You're simply saying peace is not in our heart. There is no peace.
Okay. What if the government says that? I mean, till now I've not seen that, or I've not seen any efforts from the government to create some confidence in people, right? That if you go back, you'll be safe. But what if they say, the government, which is right now, it's under President's rule, right? What if they say that we'll create enough security arrangements for you? Do you feel like if you go to your village, you'll be able to survive? Are there enough facilities and all of that there?
If there is, if they provide everything, if they give us everything for safety and everything, if they provide also, it's that very difficult to go back because we don't have peace. We cannot forgive them, those people, because just imagine from your father property is gone. Simply saying peace and security and providing these things cannot give peace in our mind.
So now if let's say you are supposed to go back, if you are able to go back, will things be like how it was before? Do you feel like it will be like that?
No.
Why?
Before conflicts, everyone is we think that we are a neighbor, so now we are our enemy. So now if I go back also, there is everyone is, all the Meitei people is our enemy. If I want to send school also, we have to through Meitei people. Hospital also we have to go through to the Meitei village. Even the market also, even the food also, we have to go through to the Meitei people. So it's not possible. It's no way to go back.
Right, because your village, on one side, if you want to come to the hospitals and colleges and everything, it's all in Imphal area, right?
Yes.
Beyond your village is the hills, and there are no facilities that side.
Yes, exactly.
And then beyond that is, I think, the international boundary, right? It's the Burmese, this thing. So there's nothing on that side.
Yes.
You will have to come towards Imphal, and it's not possible to come towards Imphal. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, exactly.
Right. What about, is the point you're trying to make is that in the last 2.5 years, the government has not tried to fix this main issue that has been created between Kuki-Zo people and Meiteis, that is, both of you are living completely separately, right? And for anybody like you to go back to your village, you cannot live separately, right? Because you're so dependent on the Imphal, that is the Meitei area. What do you think, why do you think the government has not attempted to fix this hatred? Because if this hatred is not gone, you can't live next to each other, right?
Yes.
Why is the government not trying to fix it? Or do you think it's beyond fixing?
Since the beginning, they can fix somehow. Now this time they cannot fix it back, because our heart is hardened, our mind and heart, because we have suffered, we have gone through so much suffer. If the government try to fix also, that is the way is only separate is our safety. That is the only things our safety. There is no way. If
you don't feel confident that the government will be able to mend the situation and make it like how it was before. You don't feel they can do that.
They cannot make it back. Only the way is separate. That can make us safe and secure.
Okay. But now in December, they are saying that you will have to leave the relief camp. If you have to leave the relief camp, what will you do? What is the alternative that they're giving? Do they want you to rent your own house? How will you survive? Like, is it possible to survive by yourself?
That is the main point I'm worried about that. Because if they don't give anything, how we're going to go and rent, and how I'm going to do anything, earn money and giving food and shelter? That is the main problem for us, worry. Since they announced that one, I was very much worried. I cannot sleep, I could not be normal, because I'm very much worried. Here, it's just dark and ration is they are giving. We just survive it for that. We can survive just for that also. If I go somewhere, where we going to earn money, and where we going to get food?
When you say it's not possible to earn money, do you mean that there are not enough jobs in Chuchangpur?
Not enough job. There's many people is there. There is no place to work like private company. Not that much developed in this Churachandpur. Not like a
town or a
yeah.
city, right?
Other city or town.
Have a lot of people who are displaced left Manipur and gone out, people from this camp, other people who have gone out of Manipur to work because there are no jobs here?
Yes, some only few people, like young people, just few people they are gone. From 100%, 2-3%, 4-5 is going
Okay,
outside. Not many people.
right. But so coming back to the thing, so if in December they want you to leave the camp, like you're saying, there is not enough jobs here to earn and even pay your own rent. But there are 400 people in this camp, right?
Yes, yes.
Are there enough houses for people to rent? In Lamka, is like, this is one camp. There are more than 10 camps like this.
Yes.
If everybody has to rent houses, let's say, where will people rent? Because there are
There's
not
no house also. There's no place to rent also. Not that much house rent in Lamka also. I don't know how we are going to.
Then what do they want you to do if they tell you to leave? What have you thought about what can be done? I mean, I can't see, I'm not able to think of what can be done. What have you all thought about?
There is no way to shut down the relief camp. How we are going to live? They cannot just close the relief camp. It's not possible at all, man.
Unless they make some other arrangement.
Unless they make something to us. There is no way at all.
Full compensation.
Yeah. Somehow, if they give compensation, we can survive for that also. We just can restart for that. There is no compensation. There is nothing to give us.
No
So
And
how
no, can't go to your village.
Yeah. We can't go back to our village also. If I can go back also, in my village also, they damage everything. They destroy
There's
everything.
no house, there's nothing.
There's no house, there's no place. Our field also they work, so we cannot just go back and work that also.
You're from Salam Patong, right? Which is your village?
Eskanan.
Eskanan.
Yes.
So before the conflict, did your village have a separate school? Like if you had to go to school, which school would you go to? Because that area had many schools, right?
Area has many schools.
Like within the Vaiphei villages itself,
Yes.
there are many schools.
Yes, exactly.
So now none of those schools are there. I mean, I have been that side. I've seen that all the schools
They
are
destroy everything, those things also. Even the government school, so they destroy it.
It's impossible to work on the fields like you're saying because there are too many UGs there from the Meitei side. On the other side, there are UGs on the Kuki side. So it's a very disturbed area now.
Yes. Very critical place in my hometown because just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute walks Meitei and Vaiphei people our boundaries. 4, 5 minutes walk only. We can speak Manipuri very well, same as our own language because we are very close.
Living together, right. Now, if you guys are never able to go back to that area, right, and it's more than 35 Vaiphei villages, the history of that region itself will be lost. How do you feel about that? Because Salam Patong and some of the villages, even what's the name? Phailanzang is some of the oldest villages, right?
Exactly.
So, if you're never able to go back there, how does your community feel about that, the Vaiphei tribe? That your entire one part of your history is lost, isn't it?
In that point, in my own idea, I have one idea. I don't know. We cannot go back at all because there is no peace at all.
It's a disturbed area.
Yeah, disturbed area. If the government take all the villages and they give us some compensation, according to the land map, if they can give us some compensation, for that compensation we can resettle from here in some place. What I think.
Okay, that's one of your
that is
something that you've been thinking about as an alternative.
Alternate, I don't have any idea.
No, but this is what you think is a good alternative, right?
If they can do government, that compensation, that is very helpful for us.
But do you think they'll do it?
I don't know. That is my own idea, what I want.
Okay. Other than that, my last question is, I mean, you've been here for quite some time. The last time I spoke to you, you said that you all are facing problem with the ration, and there's only very basic ration here. Since then, since the last time I met you, has there been any change, or is it the same in terms of facilities in the camp? And winter is also coming, so
Ration also become more and more lesser. So by saying is somehow I feel sad also. Some families say that is not enough for me. Give more some, but the from the
Government.
center, from the government, from the DC, they give us less. So here, every family say that food is not enough for me. Some give some more, give some more, give some more. They say that. It's somehow I feel sad to tell to other people also. It's very shameful to hear that one. But here, what we face is that one. Every family said that is not enough for me. And some people, one woman also say, if I put some more, the last one will not get rice. So that is what we face right now.
So there is not enough ration, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the government no longer cares about people who are displaced?
I don't think. I think we are Indians, so they simply cannot leave us. What I think in my mind. Even though we have faced different, we are all Indians. So how they are going to ignore us? What I used to think myself.
No, people are still talking about the conflict. People, once in a while, they speak about the conflict. They say political solution, this, that. Something comes up. But for some reason, I feel like the emphasis is no longer on people who have suffered the most, right? That is displaced people. Somehow the demands or the fact that displaced people require more resources to even survive, somehow I feel like it's forgotten. Do you feel like, do you feel the same?
I feel same. More when the time is longer, I feel more pain and pain. We cannot forget that one. Because we are the more we suffer, our heart is more missing. Same as before my previous time, we missing more that one.
You don't feel like, you've been here for more than 2 years now, you don't feel like, and this is also the hills, right? This is also like part of your community's land. You don't feel home here?
No. We miss our home more and more. Because there is not enough everything. What we live in our village, we have peace. Even though we are very poor, we have everything. We are living very comfort, free. Now there is very conscious that we are living under the...
We all have paddy field.
So you can basically cultivate whatever you need.
We have lots of paddy field in our village. 1 year we get more than 120 bags. Bag means
Of rice?
yeah.
Do people from the camp here, are there any options to work around, like in the fields or something like that? Do people get work? Like now harvest season is coming up, right? Are people offered work here, or is there the option of working in other people's fields? Or is there no
Not
work?
that much. Not that much. Only 4, 5, 10 people, they go work for work. That is also... Now this day everyone use machine.
So
Not
manual
for-
work is not there.
Yeah.
I've been visiting this camp, which is located close to half an hour after the town area of Churchandpur since 2023. And one of the first things I usually do when I visit any relief camp is to check if there are any major shortages that need to be reported on immediately. Generally, if there are any medical issues or if there is any disease outbreak in the relief camp, residents inform me. But this time, what people at Lanva camp told me is pretty surprising. I wouldn't say it's unexpected, but it's definitely surprising. One thing that has been constant for all displaced people, in spite of the 100 problems that they face, is probably that they have rice and dal. These are the only supplies that have been constant for people across relief camps, and this doesn't account as sufficient food. But usually people at the relief camps, when I ask them whether they are having enough food, they say that, yeah, we have rice and dal. People say they don't have meat, people say they don't have enough veggies, but they have so much else to talk about that they generally don't want to complain that they're not getting enough food. But this time, people at the Lanva camp told me that the food that they are getting, that the supplies that they usually get, has actually reduced. So Lanva camp, which has close to 400 people, usually gets 22 bags of rice. Each bag of rice can be anywhere around 30 to 40 kgs of rice, and 6 bags of dal, which can be somewhere between, each bag can be 20 to 25 kgs. So this 22 bags of rice and 6 bags of dal has now reduced to 18 bags of rice and 3 bags of dal. In any case, the vegetables that they used to get from the DC office has reduced, almost stopped, according to what these people have to say. But this reduction in rice and dal means that the only thing that people in the relief camps had, that is food to fill up their tummy, that is no longer happening. And the reason why residents brought this up is because they were telling me that many people are not able to get rice that is even half what they would usually get. And when I asked people affiliated to government institutions and who work in these tribe councils and community organizations, I was told that the supplies that the Churchandpur DC office gets from Imphal hasn't reduced or hasn't stopped. It's the same. Then why is it that the supplies that the relief camps are getting has reduced? Is a question that I posed to many of these people. They don't seem to have an answer. Obviously, the only thing left to do is to file an RTI, because accountability when it comes to relief materials and the money that displaced people are supposed to get, and the measures that are being taken to compensate people, all of these things have not really had any sort of clear answers. There has been zero accountability. There have been zero papers that have been released, like there have been zero white papers that have been released about any of these supplies. So the only thing left to do is to file an RTI, which I can. But the point of this whole segment is that while we are talking about people being made to leave their relief camps by force, people in the relief camps are not able to eat enough with the supplies that the government is giving them. Forget about them getting jobs, forget about them getting any kind of work to fend for themselves or to rent a house, let alone do anything else. So like Tingnai Kim said, the reality is this. The thought of leaving the relief camp, which is again giving them less than basic supplies, is difficult for most of them to process. So I don't know what is really going to happen this December, but there seems to be no communication. People at the camps don't seem to know what the government is thinking. From Lanva camp, I travelled up to Saron Hills, which is a Vaiphei village. The chief of this village has carved out 2 pieces of land where displaced Vaiphei people are being resettled. And the money to build these houses, by the way, isn't coming from the government. It has actually been raised by the church and other organizations that the tribe is affiliated to. So basically, Vaipheis who are displaced from different villages are being made to resettle here. And I spoke to one of them who moved here early in October. How has it been for them from the time that they moved here?
Chilaya na kichondu bakuna na ekat ne na khosada no ipitim tijo hasa da ekat lo na kimancha da no
Kakimancha da no hi to di lo na hi tia hi kichondu na nai cha hi na lai ja chu in ho iti seidham su thing thei ki su thinga na ti ho bo ka bo lu ya shep di na to na ding sum na ding im cham lo ya hi
so it's like they have settled
ne di ka
not
ma
more or
ka
less.
ke ho lu ti ho na
The settlement hasn't even been 1 month, so all they do is clear their surroundings, and then for there's veggies and all, they go up the hills and then search for it because there is no work here. They don't have anywhere to sustain them.
What about
There is no work for daily wages.
around here?
Yes.
What about water?
Tuila.
what na chu tu chana bol house pun bol we le vp
Oh, the chiefs made borewell for them, so they're sustaining with that.
So they have to go collect water and bring it to their house. Okay. From the relief camp, now that they've come here, have they been told that they have to be here only because there's this announcement that by December all relief camps will be dismantled, right? Is this supposed to be a permanent solution for them, or are they being told that they will have to go home to their village?
December game khadi ti chalana leton chalanga na ke chong zo chalaya hin cheng dan ta ne tiam na hin ko wa cheng ne tiam na ai lo ai le mun choma ke khadi um
no choma bo talo
chalai no
They'll settle here. So, they are not being many of the Vaiphei chiefs are being told that they should go back and occupy their village. What is the thing with their chief?
ta chu vai phe khat house ho chuna house ho chu thu pi wa ho nong lo de ti o cho ele ta chu no no ho sa ben nong lo ding anan se kho ba
chi chu na a house ho zo si jong hi di lo chu ka ti dan chu a lo the na ding mun zo na ke ho a chu lo the ding a lo
so that
lo the ding nei the ho
resettlement
to ki
thing
chen kho mi ja chu
only few villages that you can go back, but like her village you just can't go back. There is no, they are not able to go back because some, just like the other one said, it's mixed with the Meiteis, like hers it's mixed, but there are some which are a bit safer, so maybe those villages,
But going back is
to hers is not an option.
How are people from Defiance doing right now? Like, are they spread across in different camps and settlement sites like this? What is the general situation of everybody from Defiance?
To no komi ho chuna hui lai lai ya no gon tu te na chu ta de kem bo sa no ma do la hita ko chum chuma no gon ti
ke ma jong na ti village a ho hi to hom zo ka he chu
so only
really bo tam jana na chu
only few came up for resettlement in these new villages. Most of them are still stuck in relief camp.
Okay. So moving forward, how do they this is pretty away from what it's 45 minutes from Churchandpur town, right? How do they plan to work, and what are the options for work? Because there is harvest time, maybe there will be some work, but like the lady in that camp said, it's all auto. Many people are using machines. So how do they plan to do some work to sustain themselves? Are there any options, or what is the plan like? How is it looking?
So it's like ni chon na ka tao na ko na minute som thum som li ki zot hila na ele na to na vel ho hi ipiti ne ki gel bam na to ding dan na hello le chila ya to lo ho pha rong hita ya min lo yung ho ho bin tia ni ko tha dinga na ke ko bam elo le
Are some of them using looms? Moy was saying that some of the ladies are using this loom thing. Are they doing that?
khat dingan lo ba dingan hong ko kha lo na ko ma No, there is
They don't have it here.
Ni ki tam wal be se na pol ma yo.
Khomi chu koi machan nong tek lo zeng na.
Lo.
No, there is nothing as such.
A bol te hona ma ho ko ho ti cha ke ko na ni ta
They
ko te
just
ko ma bol.
not actually employ, but they do it among their own villages. No one came and approached them.
For work.
Yeah, for work. Ele ikhat to ipi khunung le ipiti unjala kisasa din na tiwam na to na din sumhol na depende ipiti all din na tiwam.
Kalung kham na pen mi ju na bol di ka het lo mo hele ji ta ka mo chu relief ke ma ka mo le ta ka mo le ke ho de chu tha khat ai chu ka ti chu ai ba chu a ke tha khat ba chu tha khat lo na chu ba hem te le relief chu hele mi tam pi ki ma an ke na ho mo ta pang le khasima de nga le boy mo am dan chu tek se nei ho de nga le boy je ga chu i ta ki na chu bang hem te le in ho e ki pi je chu mo ta ga chu e in no ba te en ki hon the mo ti je ga chu i thu hin tin ane na cha lam me lang bang ma yo si shep de ho chu li ba i I boy ki bang ai chu
She's saying staying here and staying in relief camp, there is just minor difference. The only difference is that they get privacy here. In relief camps and although there was no privacy, they are all cramped up with babies, students, and those who have elderlies. They just get cramped up. Over here, the only thing they get is that they have their own space.
Just a room.
Yeah, just the room, and then the place where their children can study. That's the only difference. The ration card, the stuff they eat, like how jobless they are, it's all the same. The condition, other than apart from getting their own private space, and nothing has changed.
Like how do which is the closest school from here? How do the children go to school here? Because we didn't see any school close by, right?
kulum lo ai chu school hi cho changpur lam bazar lang a mo school chi se bai ba mo school chi na ho ha ga gai chu
Auto che.
auto ho hi
Naki hire home.
ka ki hire home ka chiu na a chang le auto te a ki man lo wa hi la boy shuti e kaida mai
So the thing, what they do is that there is no school around here. It's only in town. So what they do is, if there is auto available, they reserved it as a whole, and then they'll send it. And if there is no auto available, it's holiday for them. They don't send it. There is no option. Yeah, it's too far to walk. Yeah, and then auto is the only option. But if the auto is not available, then there's
The kids can't go to school.
the kids doesn't go to school.
And their school is in town.
Yeah, in town.
There's no primary school or anything close by. No. And even the same for medical, any medical issue, they'll have to go to the district hospital. While I was talking to Chinboinu, I spotted this lady who was walking up and down the road in front of us, and she was busy carrying what looked like sacks of soil. And when I asked her what her name is, she told me she is Hoichong Vaiphei and that she's originally from Kamuching village, which is in the island block of Kangpopi district. People from this entire block were displaced within the first few weeks of the violence starting in Manipur. As soon as I spotted her, I also noticed that her house was already surrounded by many plants, some of which I could tell were Roselle. Roselle is actually a kind of a flowering plant that is local to the hill districts of Manipur. Its flower is generally used for making tea, where they dry the flower and then they powder it, and that is then used to make tea. But the leaves of this plant are also used in different dishes that the Kukizo people make. Hoichong then took me around her house, which is barely 200 square feet, maybe like somewhere between 150 and 200 square feet. And what I could see is that anywhere there was soil, that portion was already covered with plants. Even before Hoichong's family built up the house at the plot, using the materials that they were given, Hoichong went to the market and she bought seeds that she could find and she planted them immediately. So at the plot itself, the house is not fully ready, but Hoichong has already grown enough produce that they are now using in their meals. Before the 3rd of May, Hoichong actually used to be a farmer and she used to grow many crops on her land back in Kamuching. She told me that she was very good at growing ginger, which was her primary crop other than rice, of course. And that she would take this ginger and then sell it at the closest market in Imphal. Clearly, from what I could see, Hoichong is a pro at what she does. But she was also telling me that she doesn't like the soil in her settlement. She says there's too much clay in it, and she's also not familiar with what the soil is made of. But she has also been making manure with whatever she can find in and around the settlement. This story that I just narrated of Hoichong is very similar to stories that you will find across relief camps in Manipur, where most displaced people are fending for themselves, mainly because this government has abandoned most of them. Claiming that displaced people are being provided for is actually far from reality. The truth is also that in all our conversations about Manipur, which is actually very, very less, there are barely any conversations on Manipur, but whatever does exist, there is hardly any focus on more than 60,000 people who have lost their homes in the violence. I would actually say that this focus on these people has always been missing, but the reality is that none of this has stopped people like Hoichong from doing what they can and fending for themselves, even when the government refuses to acknowledge its duty towards them. And yes, that means that this government owes them much more than just rice and dal. I'm going to wrap up this episode with my interview with Hoichong because she does have a lot to say, but I think understanding what she's up to is important and is probably the best way we can sort of also get a peek into how people are building up whatever kind of a home they can with whatever they're being provided by, not by the government. So what is her name? Which village is she from? And first ask that.
Naminle na kuminhin sa ano.
Kakuminayle Kamuching, kaminayle Hoichong.
Hoichong. Right. So now that we are sitting at our house, we can see so many plants that are already growing here, right? Like this Roselle is already grown to a big height. So can we see other plants also growing? Can you ask her, like, I know more than a month, like it's been less than a month since they moved here, right? Can you ask her, how is it that they came here and how did they build the house and how did she get all these plants growing so fast?
So man silay na. Khat na hong masanga silaya ipiti khat til na tinke tu ho hiya na. In na kisa ho hiya so tale chitinke ho hi iti an na tu na. Chen ho pa.
In muna nok laya hi foundation hi ki hon ka kisung he mo atil hi I sponsor ten kok chum ten e pitawa atil pe ki hon ka kisung he ka kisung ngat ka chela yo he mo bal ho ji ho hi katu be ho hi le katu mo hi pa sa chu tu hi ang khang le na yi tin tu.
So the thing is that they got these goods from the missionaries. So while they were laying this foundation, she has started planting all this from then. So now
they built the house by themselves.
By themselves. They got the goods, they built by themselves. So while laying the foundations and all, she has started planting all this yam, Roselle, beans or plants or flowers. So by the time they settled here,
it's growing already.
Yeah, it's growing.
So back in Kamuching, was she a farmer? What was she growing? And what are the main crops that she used to grow in Kamuching?
Khat nakuluya Kamuching aso na no. Khat ipi na nabolam low ball na hiyam ay low le ipi nabolam.
Low ball mi na sem phai lo to mo thing tang lo chu thing to ka tu mo phai lo to ka thowa. Ka posal le sep na ne e po mo ka pani ka ki thowa sep.
Chang le hoy na bolam na.
Chang le de I phai lo ka thowa.
Phai le na.
Thing tang chu thing ka tu.
So what they do is they even grow work in paddy fields also. They have their own paddy fields. In the meantime, she plant all these gingers and yams.
Did she also sell ginger ham and all back in the...
ikhat bal te ho na ikhat to te ho chuna zo
Do you have an income from it?
chilaya chu lo ikhat sumuna na neuna.
Ni chu sumu na chau ka ne ka cha te chu le kha ka sim sa.
Yeah, she used to sell those and then
Make some money out
yeah,
of
make some money out of it and then send their kids to school with that money.
it. And which market was she selling it in?
Hoi lai bazar pe na thil na ga zo je.
Ya pu wa.
Yai repok. Yai repok bazar.
Okay. So now that she's growing here, though there is very less space here, does she also hope, I mean, there's barely any space here, no? Other than the small.
Ye a le ka cho hen na la.
What does she want to grow here now? I mean, I can see like a lot of this mud on the side, and what is she planning to do with, more like Roselle is already growing. What else does she plan to grow here?
To hi thil dang ipi na to ben to bal le ikhat sogri ho na to na bana hina. Adang ipi to be din na ti ham thilai na thil bol ho kamu he.
Tu si zo na hi mo. Ko ki maroi. Pulun ti ho vel ho tu ki de a hun a ding mo an kam gam la khot tu a bong ek to pu i a e ga he mo boi la e ka wa pu i kho fa ma ma i ka wa pu cho hel ki de mo i su i kho khuma ka tu go ra.
So she took this chicken dung, I should say. She collected it from the farm so that she can mix it with this soil and then made a pot out of those cement bags and then plant, which can be planted now like mustard, cabbage, coriander, what is that? Patikhom ji pe kiti tai ka ga hai pang e. Oh my god.
What is it? Coriander.
Yeah,
type?
coriander leaves.
Okay, coriander.
Yeah.
Ginger, coriander.
Not ginger.
No, sorry, mustard.
Mustard, cabbage, coriander, which is in season.
And right now for food, what are they doing? She said her husband has gone into the jungle, right? What, like, are they trying to find like any vegetables or anything there? What is the thing? Or, find anything, hunt or something like that?
Chilaya ni ding ho ipiti na ke holom te to
How
anloi
are they managing with food now?
to ni la cha ho ipiti na ki man cha obam to naloi pa bang chu to gama che na ti chulana mi hol ham ipi ne khat
Thing neo kha ni phai lo neo kha ka tho mo bu man wa khet na di thing neo kha chei rung dei di khat wala bok ka khat
to ni la cha ding ho la
ne
ipiti
ni cha he ka ki cho go neo kha dei pe ho to mo thing hi kam tam be ngai po mo ka ki cho ko mo ka ki men ten na kho sa ka.
So the thing is that they are managing it with whatever they get from the supply and then with whatever they can buy they manage it with that.
That's what they do for food, right?
That's what they do for food.
How does she feel like being here right now? Does she feel like, I mean, from the camp to here, what is the difference that she feels?
Kema nom to chalai nom hi na sam ipiti na sam.
Ki he de ko la mi no ba nam jo chala.
So like she said, she got more freedom here. Like in camps though it's cramped up and then she doesn't have space for this thing. So now to over here she can do whatever she wants. It's the freedom she got here.
Does she think that now everybody is talking about going back, everybody in the government is talking about how they are going to make all the displaced people go back to their village? Does she feel like she can go back to her village?
To government in ho nung chi ding ha sai lai ta hila na. Chi nang in nung chi thei ding ana ki gelam.
Ka he poi ki chi thei dem ka ging cha be po.
She don't believe in going back.
Why?
Ipiding.
Ki olam kho a hak sayeng hola mei te tam ta lo mo mei te e jilam le mei te lam le mei te lam le mei te ki o kha la ya kai wa.
So they basically living together with the Meitei, surrounded by Meitei villages and all. So she said it's impossible to go.
There's a lot of fear, is
Thei
there?
ai le ki nom de ko I gam la ma chu.
If possible, they would want to stay back, but it's not an option for them to go back.